37. 26 knots down the angle. 106 interval is a Rhino at 5. Good. 207 on flat path on course 1 mile. Good. 207 on flat path on course.
On the 12th of May 2011, Christopher McManus, a British national, and his Italian colleague Franco Lamolinara were kidnapped from their apartment in northwestern Nigeria and held as hostages by the terrorist group known as Boko Haram. Over the next 10 months, British and Nigerian intelligence services worked to locate them. However, all trails ran cold. That was until February 2012, when a series of phone calls were intercepted discussing the hostages. The problem was no location was leaked or tracked. With this development, M Squadron of the Special Boat Service was dispatched to Nigeria in mid-February to prepare for a potential rescue operation. However, until the location was precisely pinpointed, there was very little the squadron could prepare for. On the 6th of March 2012, a breakthrough was finally achieved when Nigerian forces arrested 5 members of Boko Haram, who revealed the location of a single-storey compound where the Briton and Italian were being held. The compound was situated in the city of Sokoto, approximately 130 kilometers northeast of where the 2 individuals had been kidnapped, almost a year earlier. The 5 Boko Haram prisoners also revealed that the hostages were being ready to be transferred over to Al-Qaeda, raising concerns that the 2 may be executed. With the situation now seriously deteriorating, the British ambassador to Nigeria warned the British government that the lives of the hostages were in imminent danger. Consequently, at 0800 on the 8th of March, Prime Minister David Cameron gave the green light for the Special Boat Service to launch a rescue operation. Given just 24 hours to prepare, the S.B.S were going in virtually blind, with no solid confirmation on where exactly the hostages were located inside the compound, or the approximate strength of the enemy forces. Additionally, the senior S.B.S commanders in Nigeria were not keen on launching a daylight ground assault, preferring instead to postpone the raid by several hours and conduct an air assault using helicopters under the cover of darkness. Unfortunately, given the dangers posed to the hostages, no delay or change of plans could be authorised. At 0900 on the 8th of March, 16 operators from M Squadron were transported to a Nigerian army base located on the outskirts of Sokoto. Upon arrival, the S.B.S troopers boarded several waiting Nigerian army vehicles and headed out towards the compound. At the same time, an RAF Beechcraft Shadow R1 aircraft arrived over the city and began relaying a live feed of the target back to London. At approximately 1000, the ground force arrived in the vicinity of the compound, from where the assault team disembarked from their vehicles and moved forward on foot. However, in moving up to the outer perimeter wall, the team was spotted and immediately came under sporadic fire from militants shooting from the target. It is rumoured that, due to how built up the area is, the militants had contacts throughout the city who had spotted the assault force and pre-warned the kidnappers of a potential rescue operation. With the element of surprise lost, the British troops signalled for one of the Nigerian vehicles to drive forward and ram the main gate, whilst the supporting Nigerian soldiers laid down suppressing fire onto the building itself. The volume of the fire being put down by the Nigerians resulted in at least 6 of the insurgents being killed. Meanwhile, with the front gate smashed open, the 16 operators rushed into the courtyard before making their way to the entrance of the target. Forcing an entry, the S.B.S troopers began the difficult task of room clearance, which saw them neutralise a further 2 of the militants, but find no sign of the hostages. Eventually, after clearing the final wing of the compound, The operators found the bodies of McManus and Lamolinara, both of whom had been shot at close range by the kidnappers just minutes before the British troops reached their position. A wife of one of the militants revealed afterwards that as soon as the fighting had started, the hostages were bundled into a toilet room and executed by their captors. Outside the compound, gunfire continued to ring out as members of the Nigerian army pursued 5 of the insurgents who were attempting to flee the area. Fortunately, after several hours, all 5 of them were captured, although a Nigerian officer was lightly wounded during this period. Throughout the remainder of the 8th of March, the Nigerian army maintained a presence around the compound, whilst the 16 operators of M Squadron were withdrawn back to the army base on the city's outskirts for a mission debrief. In total, 8 militants have been killed in the raid, with a further 5 taken prisoner. Besides the wounded Nigerian officer, the British assault team and the supporting Nigerian force suffered no major casualties. Nonetheless, the primary objective wasn't achieved, and sadly both Christopher McManus and Franco Lamolinara lost their lives during the operation. Speaking of the raid afterwards, Stephen Mitchell, also known as Andy McNabb, who had served with the S.A.S. from 1984 to 1993, said, "The Special Forces are sent in only when every other attempt to save the hostages has failed. An operation like this shouldn't be viewed as a failure because they are working from a point where every other option has failed. Missions like this have a success rate of less than 30%. Just because the Special Forces are going in, it doesn't mean the operation is guaranteed to succeed."